What is up, everyone, and welcome back to NFL Talk and More. I'm your host, Matthew Kettrick, and I'm alone today again because, this is another NFL short or NFL Talk and More short. Again, this is not our weekly podcast. This is just an NFL Talk and More short, nothing big. Short and sweet, but Braden Lamagna is not here today. He's running some errands, and so is Lorenzo. Lorenzo is also running errands. So it is just me today, and Gideon did not respond, so I'm alone today. But, we can still have fun, though, because it is a beautiful, beautiful day to be talking about some football. I guess I'm talking that to myself. But we are going to be talking about some more George Pickens drama because Doug Whaley came out and was talking about George Pickens. So we're going to get into that now. Oh, yeah. Right here. You see the gold chain right here? You see the gold chain? Yeah. It's not a gold chain. It's a Steelers gold chain right here. Steelers gold chain. I know. It's amazing. Steelers gold chain right here. But, yeah, I just want to show my love to Pittsburgh with the Steelers gold chain. We're going to get started. Remember, if you guys want to see more of this, then hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you know when we are live. And let's get into it. Let's get into it right now. George Pickens, right? He gets a lot of backlash. He gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of hate of who he is, what he does on the field, what he does off the field. He gets a lot of that. But we're also going to talk about what just happened recently when I forget if it's Doug Whale or Doug Whaley. One of those two. I'm just going to say Doug. But Doug came out on the media, and he was talking about George Pickens. Now, just for the sake of this, since this is an NFL Talking More short, not really going to be doing the whole thing of what he said, but we're going to get into the big details of what he said. So, again, this is what Doug Whaley said about George Pickens. Quote, "What I'm saying is great players are focused on being great. They don't like any outsider or anyone else affect them trying to achieve their goal of being the best. And if George Pickens is being that influenced and it affects him, then you know what type of player he is. He's not a number one, and you don't pay him." All right? So, we can also I think that's kind of it for what Doug Whaley said. Yeah. So again, what I kind of want to talk about is, I guess we can get into this also paragraph too. I look at it this way: if he's that impressionable, you already got your answer if he's the number one or not. Jerry Rice wasn't impressionable. Michael Irvin wasn't impressionable. But yeah, that's kind of the last on this. So what I am getting the feeling, right? I'm getting the feeling that he's talking about that George Pickens, like just the way he acts off the field, the way he acts on the field. But George Pickens, right? He's not like no one's perfect. George Pickens is also one of those wide receivers who comes out of college thinking they're the best. Not only thinking that they're the best, but they get the most, but like they get like the perfect amount of money, or maybe more money than they should deserve. That's why they always land on a bunch of teams, because they want so much money. They don't want that ring, they want the money. So, but also these guys, they also talk too, and George Pickens does talk. In the Titans game, he like when Deontay Johnson got his touchdown and what? Yeah, because Deontay Johnson did not have a touchdown for a while. And then when he finally got the touchdown in the Titans game, George Pickens did not celebrate with him. He started jogging off the field. Now, again, you should always support your teammate, but I can see why George Pickens was mad. They had Matt Canada as their offensive coordinator, and their plays were awful. They got no touchdowns. They always got field goals. They didn't really do anything special. But I could really see why he's mad because, again, with the offensive coordinator situation, he did not get the ball a lot either. Just also because of the offensive line of how bad it was when either Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, or Mitch Trubisky, they either got sacked or they had to run out of the pocket, and God knows what would happen because that O-line was terrible. So I can really see why George Pickens was that mad. But again, you should always support your teammates, even if you don't get a touchdown, or even if you do get a touchdown, or if they get a touchdown, or if they don't get a touchdown. You should always support your teammates no matter what. So again, kind of both ways. But when like after that game, when he jogged off the field, he was saying some stuff online about free me, whatever that stuff. All right, again, that's what rookies are gonna do. And everyone was freaking out online. They were like, "Oh my God, George Pickens wants to lead the Steelers. George Pickens will bust. George Pickens is not good. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to trade him in the next 2 years. They're not going to pick up his fifth-year option. He's going to be traded." No, he's not. He's not going to be traded. He is not, because he's just too good. And going back to what I said about how these rookie guys are going to talk, right? They're going to say their stuff, but just don't pay any attention to them, right? Because it'll be over all soon, because, again, when Mike Tomlin came out and he said, Mike Tomlin, in quote, "I know it's a cute story for you guys, but it is a pebble in my shoe." When Mike Tomlin says it was a pebble in my shoe, it means he doesn't even care about it. Mike Tomlin knows these rookie guys are going to say stuff. Mike Tomlin has the experiences with Antonio Brown, now George Pickens. He knows what these guys are going to do, and he is okay with them talking because he's like, yeah, they're mad, and I know why they're mad, and I'm okay that they're mad, and I know how to deal with it when they're mad, and I will help them. If they don't want to leave, I will help them. Mike Tomlin even said that he's been talking to Pickens about it, and it's been getting better. So, again, that is also a really good subject. And honestly, we can also get into get into how they said he's not a number one and you don't pay him. Really? We can either get into that, or we can say they don't like any outside or anyone else affect them trying to achieve their goal of being the best. The media is always going to talk. Just ignore them. Like, do what Najee Harris does. Don't even talk to the media. Pickens kind of talk. Pickens talks to the media, but he's not like out there. But he does talk to the media. But like Najee Harris, on the other hand, he doesn't even talk to the media at all. But yeah, besides that, we're going to get into our last and final quote subject about how Doug said he is not a number one and you don't pay him. So, okay, Pickens apparently is not a number one. All right, well, why is that? Well, let's get into it right now, okay? Because everyone's going to say that Pickens' stats were not as good as the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, according to the NFL and stuff. And I get it. Like, I get why people can say that Pickens is not top 10, just because his stats weren't that good. But if you think about it, there's a reason why his stats aren't good. We're going to get into that right now. In total, Pickens has played 2 years in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're in the offseason, and we're going to the third year of the NFL. But before that, altogether these 2 years, Pickens had 115 receptions, 190 targets, 1,941 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So, again, 1 year he did get over 1,000, which, again, is good if a receiver – if any receiver gets over 1,000, then that's good. But, again, that, total – that's not terrible for having a bad quarterback now. Now you can say, you can say as a wide receiver, you should probably have more than that. But yeah, but look at the quarterback he's had. Like, look at the quarterback situations he's had. He had Mitch Trubisky, and we're actually going to get into that right now. When Kenny Pickett got hurt, and George Pickens did not do terrible with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett was actually decent in Pittsburgh, but Mitch Trubisky is just downright awful. And when Kenny Pickett got hurt, Mitch Trubisky, for the 3 games that he was in before they put Mason Rudolph, and he went 0-3. And if you put either like Tyreek Hill in there, or maybe just Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson in there, they're not going to do good with Mitch Trubisky. But if we look at it, George Pickens did actually decent with Trubisky. He didn't do great, but he did exceptional, a little bit above exceptional with Mitch Trubisky. Because Trubisky's awful, but Pickens is just born different. He's insanely tall. He has big hands. He can catch with one hand, and he's fast for a tall wide receiver. And again, Pickens is only 23 years old, so he's gonna talk. He's gonna say stuff, but it doesn't matter. And because he's only 23 years old, he has a lot of potential. Just imagine what George Pickens can do with a good quarterback, just like Russell Wilson or maybe Justin Fields. Like, imagine the potential he has. If Russell Wilson actually becomes good, imagine George Pickens with Russell Wilson, because George Pickens did above exceptional with Mitch Trubisky. Just imagine that with Russell Wilson. And we can also talk about, Mason Rudolph, again, a mid quarterback, just saying, and this also goes with why when Doug said he is not a number 1 and you don't pay him, look at the game with Cincinnati. Do you think Tyreek Hill, or do you think Stephon Diggs, do you think Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson will do good with Mason Rudolph? No, they won't. You know who will? George Pickens will. Because in the Cincinnati game on like that Christmas game when Mason Rudolph was playing, get this, George Pickens had 195 yards for 2 touchdowns. Just that is absolutely amazing. That's 5 yards away from 200, which is above great for a wide receiver in a game. Like, if you're a pro wide receiver in the game, if you have that, that's amazing. George Pickens, he had that. That's also amazing. And for 2 touchdowns too. We can also point out the 4 receptions he had for 195 yards. And again, you only get the football 4 times, and you get 195 yards, which is insane. Coming back with 195 for the 2 touchdowns. One of the touchdowns, again, was an 80-yard touchdown. 82 or 80-yard touchdown, or around that, which is, again, that's absolutely insane. That's like a Tyreek Hill slam, and then Tyreek Hill gets the whole football field to run. That's literally what George Pickens did, except he outran them. So, coming down to my final opinion about this, about how they said that he's not a number 1 and you don't pay him, I extremely disagree on that, because George Pickens is a number 1 wide receiver. Because he is doing extremely exceptional with these trashy quarterbacks. He's doing extremely exceptional with Mitch Trubisky. He's doing extremely exceptional with Kenny Pickett. He's doing extremely exceptional with Mason Rudolph. Like, he's been through these awful quarterbacks, and he's actually done really decent. So, because of that, he has a extreme amount of potential with, like, being a top 5 wide receiver with a good quarterback. So that's another reason why he could be a number 1 wide receiver. Well, that's the only reason why he could be a number 1 wide receiver. And he's saying that he's going to be a number 1 wide receiver, and explaining why that I just did now kind of says something about that they're going to pay George Pickens. My opinion is that by the end of these 2 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is just my opinion. I think that the Steelers are going to pay George Pickens a certain amount of money for 3 or 4 more years. I think George Pickens is going to get an extension for 3 or 4 more years once these 2 years are up, just because he's that good. Now, my opinion might change because he turns out bad, but will George Pickens really be bad? No, he won't. George Pickens is top 5 in the NFL. So I really think that the Steelers are going to sit down after these 2 years and go, yo, dude, you're amazing. We haven't seen this talent for a while. Here's a 3 or 4 year contract. Here's the money. Come play for the Steelers and win a Super Bowl. That is my opinion about this whole situation. So, yeah, George Pickens is top 5. He's going to stay on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is my final opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Again, this is an NFL Talking More short, so nothing special is going on here. Just a little checkup or my opinion on some breaking news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But again, thank you guys for sticking with me. It's been a pleasure. And what day is it? Alexa, what day is it?
Today is Thursday, July 18th.
It is Thursday, so expect a podcast Saturday or Sunday. We are going to be talking about Rashee Rice on the Kansas City Chiefs. Will he stay or will he – wait, no, not that. I mean, we can talk about that. Will he stay or will he leave? But we can also we're also going to talk about his potential with the Kansas City Chiefs, just like we did with Caleb Williams. So, yes, Rashee Rice. What's his potential in the Kansas City Chiefs? But, yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Again, expect a podcast either Saturday or Sunday, if not Monday. Turn that bell on so you know when the podcast is on. And I will see you guys on the weekend. Go Steelers, black and yellow. Again, if I do these NFL shorts, it's probably going to be about the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. More coming. See you guys on the weekend. Peace out. Goodbye. For now. See you on the weekend.